Here we are, guys. We're in the middle of Naltharion's Lair, and this is actually one of the first trash packs that you're gonna run into when you jump into this dungeon. Really fun. If you're tanking it, you're gonna be doing some kiting because, as you can see, you have these scorpions, and as these scorpions explode, or the little skittering guys, they're going to leave these puddles. With them leaving these puddles behind, it's going to be really rough for melee because it does tick for a lot of damage. I believe this is considered a level 100 dungeon. This was actually the first time I'd been in this dungeon. But in order to stop these skittering guys from coming, you've got to kill. You can see like the big old mama crystalline thing up ahead, and what it does is it's actually picking ticks out of its kid and throwing it off, and that's where the crabs are coming from. Kind of neat. They kind of went into mama to baby orangutan kind of situation. Fun little deal right there, guys. Nothing too important, obviously, but she will keep throwing these things out until after you end up engaging them. So just something to think about. It's kind of like a little timer deal, so once you start your first pull, you got to kind of get to this one or you're going to get overran by these little puddles. So fun piece. We are doing this as the Prot Warrior just so you can end up, getting to see a little bit more on it if you hadn't already. Plus, tank Qs are always the fastest, guys, so you're going to see me either tanking or healing on most of my actual dungeon videos, so I get a couple times into it. But this is the first impression, basically, from me. I have done this since, but this is the first time I was in there with the Prot Warrior, and I wanted to bring it to you to see just about how I ended up tanking it on the first go through. This whole dungeon's all about going down deeper and deeper and deeper, basically making your way into Naltharion's lair. If you don't know who Naltharion is, that is Deathwing before he was corrupted. So pretty cool little deal. First boss here, guys. What he's doing, he's going to have the ads come out. You're going to want to pick up the ads. He also turns and faces the group at a certain area. You're going to want to try and get out from in front of him because he's going to do a smash, and he also does a shatter, which is just a small AoE knockback. But then you're still dealing with the little skittering guys that are dropping the poison, so it makes it with this small platform, it's kind of a hard situation to get through, guys, but it's still really, really fun. Not a lot of damage. Like I said, I believe this is a level 100. He's not doing much, but you're going to see one of our DPS, I believe, actually dies due to Razor Shards, which is basically he turns, he faces, and he does a general lined AoE. So nothing there, guys. Here he goes. He's casting it right now, and boom. All right, does decent amount of damage, not a lot. And I had my back up against the wall here to try and keep back from the shatter, and realized that my healer was getting munched on. So staying tanked up against the wall is not going to work too well, guys, unless your heals is right there with you. You're going to have to stay mobile. But the fight's really fun. It could use a little bit more. It's pretty simple. Not a lot of damage again. We're doing this with 4 people because we had somebody leave right at the beginning. So just a few things I end up letting you know. We're still killing this thing. Nothing is really happening at all. Just pick up ads if you're tanking. If you're healing, really you're probably going to be bored, not using a lot of mana, but then again, who knows, it all depends on how you heal and who you're healing. But stay out of the puddles, guys. You can't avoid shatter. It's fairly easy unless you're the tank. And then the other thing you want to do is just, if he faces you at any point during the fight, just get the hell out from in front of him. So we're going to skip on. Now this room was really interesting. You'll see us kiting this guy, and if you notice, he's got a skull. He's actually level 110. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be, but there's these little drummer guys that go in and they beat on a war drum, and then they can call everybody to you. We got rid of the first one already, and I did kind of skip part of this because somehow we ended up getting like 3 of these level 110s, and I was just getting pummeled. But we figured out a way to end up kiting. I kited one of them and decided, alright, we can end up doing this. It's just going to take a little bit of mobility. So grab him, got some AoE to it, or I'm sorry, got some threat build up, and then just kited the rest of the way as the DPS took care of him. And here you can see the drum on the left and the drummer guy there. I'm going to actually pull this group back. You can sneak past most of this trash. It looks like a lot, and I don't know if these 110s are supposed to be in there or if it's just an alpha bug. But man, they hurt so bad at level 100. It's insane how much damage they're actually doing to you. But we do have a couple in here that are much higher. They're able to do the damage that's needed. As to where I'm level 100, but I didn't have any issues with threat, guys. Threat is not an issue with warriors right now. I did end up putting out a tanking video, what the comparisons are, and it was ranked 4th for the Prot, but that's for different reasons. Magic damage seems to be an issue, unless you're able to just spam Ignore Pain, which Ignore Pain's ungodly. And here you see, we've got another one of these crystalline guys. This is a very linear dungeon. You're just basically going from point A to point B, one-way track, and then you get to jump down these little holes, and it's multi-platform. So you're looking at, I think it's like 4 different platforms, 5 different platform areas that you're going through. But here's the room for the second boss, guys. And as you can see, we just pick up everything, we nuke it all down, no big deal. None of this is too bad on normal. I have yet to test this one on heroic yet. A couple of the dungeons on heroic are pretty brutal. I have not done any of the Mythic Plus stuff yet. So just an idea. It's a fun little dungeon, guys. And this boss was actually really cool. We'll get through this trash here in just a moment, and we'll start talking about the boss. A few things that you want to look for on this guy is he is not that hard. All he does is some cave-in stuff. This trash isn't that hard. Really, guys, this dungeon's pretty easy for, you know, being level 100. I mean, it is pretty damn easy. It's linear. It's got some decent-looking areas to it. Like, the first place that you drop down to, you can actually look around and actually see these guys' homes in the cave dwellings. Now, here we are on the second boss. He's a neat looking model, he's a completely new model actually, and what he's going to do is, you see these hands that'll pop up and they'll actually do a class together. One of the demon hunters actually died to it. Rough stuff, guys. What it does is it claps together and it almost acts like, oh, I can't think of his name, but in Black Rock Foundry, guys, the one elemental dude that's hanging off the ledge that does the hands that crash. Same thing. And then this part was really fun. You basically got to play a game of like the Street Cups game, and find the right one, destroy it. There's the cave-in, landed on both of us. It's right there on us. It doesn't do very much damage though, so pretty easy to heal through, at least on normal. But breaking this thing out, and then there he is. You know, you find him. You can kill the wrong one, and you know, be sitting there going, alright, what's going on? And then these other ones that he brings up during the fight, just do a little pulsing AoE. Kill them off, no big issue. So what you're looking at is avoid the hands, kill off the little idle totem things that cause AoE damage. And then when he goes in his second phase here, right, yet again, here we are, you try and follow this thing. Sometimes it's really hard to follow, especially if you've got someone that bugs you or you're trying to turn your camera like I did. Completely missed it. It's actually going to be on the other side where the other demon hunter's at, so it can get a little confusing. In heroic, if they add any more of these, this is going to be fun as hell, guys. You're really going to be testing your luck through this whole entire deal. So maybe there will be some way, like you can end up putting a marker on the top of it, but you can't target them until they're loose. So we'll find out what's going on with it. But right now, it's just fun being able to use your own perception to find out exactly what it's doing. Other than that, this boss wasn't that hard. He was just fun. So here we are. We're going to actually keep on moving. And as you see, we'll come into this room right now. And you can end up looking around a bit. But I don't know if I end up getting a good shot of it. But you can actually see the bridges in the background. They were doing snail races. I almost feel bad because we're in here invading these guys' home area while they're just kicking back having a good time. That's kind of messed up, but hey, that's the way a cookie crumbles. We're here to get shit done, and you know, if they weren't working for the bad guy, we'd be alright. But you see all the bridges up there and the water, and it's just really, really nice looking. It's too bad it's so linear. It really kind of reminds me of almost like Mardon, but not, you know, to where it's not open. It's very linear. but the way it goes through the different color schemes in here, and you'll see even more of what I'm talking about when we get to the final level after this next boss. This trash here, nothing big again. They kind of put out little worms, and there's been really no major damage stuff. These worms here, they have a tendency to tunnel, and then they'll do like a little AoE, and then they'll pop back up, but they don't last long enough in normal right now. We had a lot of damage just to cook them through. You can see that one. He went down and he came back up with a bunch of poison underneath him. Really nothing to worry about. And this is the third boss. We needed some range on this to actually give a better look, because what he does is he actually puts poison out, and he sends poison to whoever's out in the range. But he didn't get to do that because, well, here we are with all melee and one healer, and it didn't work. And you can see all this poison's just lining up right on top of us. There's ads that end up coming out. You won't tank the ads. They're supposed to be DPS down, and if they end up getting close, as you saw, he just does a devour. He picks it up and he starts eating it, and he regens health. Nothing, again, in this fight was really that rough, except the fact that we had all melee except for the healer, and we had poison everywhere next to this thing. There was no safe zone whatsoever. So you definitely are going to want at least 1 or 2 ranged to end up compensating on this. And now he's picked me up with Spike Tongue, and he does some huge damage, almost kills me. That's, from what I understand, Spike Tongue, whenever you see him casting it, and you'll notice, I'll do it again here in a second, but he casts Spike Tongue, and what you're supposed to do is use active mitigation, and he actually stops. He like bounces off of whatever your active mitigation is, so that's really a kind of a neat mechanic to end up keeping him from doing that. But here you'll see he just devoured another fanatic, and he's going to end up gaining health. And I think I just did it actually. I'm not 100% sure. Just keep an eye out. Here it comes, the Spike Tongue, and I do believe I end up using the active mitigation. See, and it bounces right off, guys. You saw the little shield deal. So something that's really neat for the tanks, to end up keeping yourself from getting picked up and munched like a little bitch. You got to end up using your abilities to keep you alive. So just a thought. And we're gonna go down yet another hole. You can see the Demon Hunter got munched, and it's dead. It's down in the middle, or it fell in the hole, one of the two. But he gets a res, and here we are in the actual Naltharion's lair. Look at the color in here. It's nice, it's bright, it's red. It really looks crisp. You can see another little portal up top there for escaping whenever you're doing this, probably on Mythic or Mythic Plus dungeons. Mythic and Mythic Plus, guys, just so you understand, that's going to be the new challenge mode setup. You got to do the Mythic version before you can enter the challenge mode. And when you end up, what the Mythic Plus is, what they've named it right now, is Mythic Plus. But it's challenge modes plus the time, plus, well, it's, I mean, and then whatever the additional damage that it ends up getting is. And, you know, it can increase health of mobs, or it can increase the damage of the mobs, so on and so forth. Real simple. Again, these mobs here, they didn't do much in this room, but you do want to clear all the ones down in the bottom here, because you can see the boss off to the left. You're going to need this whole platform to end up completing this boss. He was another fun one. He was very interesting, and again, you see me pulling a bunch here, but that's because these guys really aren't doing much in comparison to some of the other dungeons. These mobs really hit very, very weak. And it's kind of a disappointment to just be able to go through and troll this thing this bad. It's almost like a Warlords, you know, dungeon right now. And it's not, it makes it to where it's not that exciting. Just go in, hit buttons, and watch them die. But as you can see, this is actually, from what I understand, Naltharion's lair. This is the Dragon Spine. This is where Naltharion was changed at rest, or whatever, and this is where he ended up getting changed into Deathwing. You know, this is where he was resting at whenever all the changes ended up happening. So it's kind of some cool lore into it. And this is going to be the last boss. Dargrul, he's got a couple different abilities. You can see he summons an ad. It's going to chase somebody down, do some huge damage to him. You just want to end up focusing it down. He does a lined spike thing that just basically it ends up tanking. You want to tank him away, guys. You want to tank him away. Otherwise, it'll hit everyone behind you. And then he does this meteor smash stuff. But he also brings up spikes in random location. The crystal spike, it's going to come up underneath us. And there it is. It does a lot of damage if you stay underneath it. The smash can actually break these things, but you don't want to break them for his last mechanic, which is this, magma wave. You got to get behind this thing. You got to line of sight from it. Otherwise, it's going to kill you, just like it did our healer. It's going to be no issue, though. We still end up getting it. He doesn't hit that hard by himself. It's just, and that and ignore pain's a little bit on the overpowered side. I don't have any actual self-healing here, guys, so I'm just winging it as best as possible, putting up as much ignore pain as I can, and praying for the DPS to get it killed before I get killed. So as you see, I mean, we're still doing really well as Prot Warriors, but I would have been feeling a little more comfortable on the Death Knight because I would have been able to heal this all back up and not have any issues. But again, here you go, Magma Wave again, boom, he breaks them all right at the end of it, and then I'm just in a kite phase trying to get the hell away. Here he goes, and he should die right about there. Alright, guys, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a first look, and I really enjoyed this dungeon. It was a little linear and a little too easy, but other than that, for normal level 100, it was great. If you enjoyed yourself, go ahead and like and subscribe. You'll always get the best content that I can end up providing, and well, when you like it, it lets other people see it. Thanks for watching.